time skipping out, Carol. Something to note for you. Tequila.
Okay, this is KP. This is KP4MD. We're now live on YouTube.
All right. Well, very good. Well, this is going to say good evening. This is Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, your net control operator for the River City Arc Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arcs members and all licensed amateur radio operators are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency arises and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until emergency traffic is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob.
Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta Carol Citrus Heights.
All right, I've got N6PGQ, Bob, KL7HQR, Neil, I got Papa 4 Mike Delta, Carol. Someone double with Neil. Please come again.
Good evening, this is Joel, Alpha India 6 Delta Golf in Florence.
All right, Joel, well, welcome aboard, and thanks for checking in, everyone. I appreciate it. Any other check-ins? All right, Bob, November 6th, PGQ. If you're ready to roll, you may transmit a photo.
Okay, well, this is going to be PD 120 and should be coming up fairly quickly.
Bob. Well, this is November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, Net Control here. I was able to copy the photo. It's just a little bit out, a tad bit out of focus, but color came through good with very little noise, apparently. Well, there's some pixel pops here and there, but obviously it's a small red printed circuit board, and I could see in the lower right-hand corner that it says CW oscillator, so that looks like an oscillator kit. I'm looking at a speaker in the upper right-hand corner, and if I zero in on that resistor there, I see yellow, violet, red. That must be a 4.7 k ohm resistor just to the left of the speaker, and I can read the print on top of the integrated circuit. It says is that an LM324 op amp? Pretty good, Bob. Thank you. Nice job. Let me turn it over to Neil, KL78QR. Were you able to copy?
Yeah, but I'm envious of your eyes because I think I have a very good copy, exactly as you mentioned, and it doesn't look to be out of focus. But I cannot read on the integrated circuit. How about that? So, no, very, very good. The big Duracell 9-volt battery on the left-hand side, the jacks on the bottom, and obviously a potentiometer there, probably volume control. And no, good copy. And looking at Carol's up, she has a couple of lines in there, which I do not show in mine. So I had a very good copy, no problem at all. Good job. Back to Net.
Yeah, I turned on my cleaner upper filter and my ultra-sensitive receiver here, so I've got absolutely, I could see all the prints and everything that's printed on the chip. And I'll let you in on the secret in a little bit. Let me turn it over to, thank you, Neil, Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD, and I have those lines here, and I figured out what the problem is. I'm getting multipath, and my antenna is pretty close to a pine tree, and it kind of sways in the wind, and some of the little branchlets on there are just about like a half wavelength on 440, and it's causing some problems with reflections, and it just when they blow a certain particular way, the signal drops out a little bit. It's quite marked, so that's why you get those dropouts. And let me see if I expand this. No, I'm not able to read that. I can read where it says KD6RM HT CW oscillator in the lower right-hand corner, and I can read some of the like the switch, the toggle switch. Repeater, it's labeled repeater to the left. I suppose that's a push to talk switch there. And there's a little speaker that's on the board in the upper right hand corner. And I can see the color codes on the resistors. Yeah, I could see that. And there's a couple of little jacks, I guess, you use for your I guess you use the jacks there for your CW key. And maybe there's another jack you use for headphones, and a big 9-volt battery. So back to Net Control. This is KP4MD.
All right, well, thank you for the explanation, Carol. That picked up on some things I didn't see, and appreciate the explanation on the wave propagation tutorial on the tree there. Sorry to hear about that. I'm not sure what they would do about it. It might just continue to grow. Maybe it'll grow up out of your way, hopefully. Okay, Joel, Alpha India 6 Delta Golf. Did you want to go ahead to copy?
Pretty good copy. A few noise pops. My normal Mori pattern that I wish I knew what the cause was. So we got a square red circuit board. The left half of it's pretty much covered by the 9-volt battery. On the right side, I see a 7-pin dip, a bunch of 1/8 or 1/4 watt resistors, and some small dipped capacitors. We've got two, probably 3.5 millimeter stereo jacks on the bottom. I can see on the circuit board they're labeled. The one on the left is labeled key. The one on the right is labeled, I believe, HT. I see a label just to the right of that, KD6PM HTCW oscillator, OSC. Above that, I guess it's probably a pot, but it could be a switch. And above that, it's labeled speaker, but it's probably a piezo element speaker. It's not really a speaker so much as just a buzzer. Maybe it is a switch, because above it I see HT and below it I see PTT. So this is a code oscillator, but maybe it can be also used to drive a transceiver. I'd be curious to know what HT would stand for, because I think handy-talkie, but I suspect it means something else. Back to net AI6TG.
All right, Joel. Well, thank you for that. Let's see here. Turn it over to Bob. Maybe he wants to get ready to explain his photo. N6PGQ, go right ahead. N6EMF.
Well, folks are very good at figuring things out. It is definitely a KD6RM circuit design from our good friend Phil. And the purpose of this is to provide a tone that will go into your handy-talkie and allow you to practice CW over FM. And it produces a tone. And the left 1/8 inch, I'm going to be old-fashioned, left 1/8 inch plug, you plug your key in, and the right plug you connect to a cannibalized speaker mic that goes into your handy-talkie, and it provides CW audio that you can then send. The switch in the middle right, which is out of focus because there wasn't a lot of light and I did it quickly, switches from transmit to receive the speakers so that it's basically a side tone so that you can hear what you're sending. And the Duracell battery is out of focus because it's significantly taller than the components that are on the board. And so that's pretty much it. The circuit works real well, and so you can practice CW between two people that have handy-talkies. N6PGQ.
That's awesome. Thank you, Bob. I cheated. I want to admit to everybody I cheated. JoJo KN6HDD sold me one of Phil's kits a couple of months ago. Picked it up from his house. I recognized it as soon as it came up on my receiver, and then I started picking parts off the bill of materials to cheat, Neil. So don't blame it on your eyes. I used the schematic diagram and a pictorial diagram of the circuit board and the bill of materials, so that's how I knew it was an op-amp and a LM324 and all that other stuff. So please forgive N6EMF.
Now, I'm glad to hear that because I just had cataract operation 2 weeks ago, and I thought maybe I had to pull the implanted lens out and clean it up and put it back in place. So I'm glad I don't have to do that.
All right, well, congratulations on getting through that, and I hope you have expedient recovery. Hang in there. So let me turn it over to Neil. You want to go any other, first before I do that, any other questions or comments about the code oscillator? Thank you, Bob. N6NA go ahead and transmit photo.
Yeah, well, no worries. That operation is way behind. It's doing well. No problem at all. We're past that. Thank you. Okay, this will be PD120.
copy, but I'll turn it over to Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, there was a poem about a purple cow. Well, it's obviously not a purple cow. The cow is, if it's a cow, multicolored. It has, black and brown, kind of like I don't know, what is that, a Guernsey or Holstein or whatever cow that is. It looks giant, considering the picture in a picture. The size of the people in the left foreground are fairly small. So this must be at a park or, fairgrounds or something like that. I don't know. It might be in Wisconsin for all the cheese that they've got. It's got yellow horns and ears, and looks like it's flying through space on the left, and on the right it looks like it's mounted on the ground. And I'll let someone else describe the thing. The horns are pointed up, the ears are pointed back, and it's a cow. So that's all I'm going to say, N6PGQ.
All right, that's good. Good. Okay, well, we jump down to Carol, Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta.
Okay, this is KP for MD. Yep, I got the same picture. You can see it on YouTube. A cow that apparently is a balloon. Kind of the kinds that go down the Thanksgiving Day parade. And I'm guessing since it's out in the field somewhere, this may be one of the activities that Neil has attended in one of his travels around the world. I couldn't guess where it is from just looking at the background there. But I'm going to guess that maybe it was in Europe somewhere. So back to net control. This is KP for MD.
Okay, well, thank you, Carol. Yeah, so Alpha India 6 Delta Golf. Joe, go right ahead. Did you copy?
My usual excellent reception and so forth. I'm not going to mention some of the thoughts going through my mind, what I might have been looking at as this started coming down at the top. Yeah, it took a while to figure out what the heck I was looking at. But, yep, it's a cow, yellow horns, yellow hooves, black and white bodied. Got something on the side, maybe in red, but I can't read what it says. And it's huge. I mean, it's like 40 or 50 feet tall. So I was thinking, I started thinking like maybe it's a hot air balloon, but then you got the picture on the side that's it on the ground, kind of in a park with people around it. So I don't think that's it. I think it's just a big figurine, kind of like they do with the Macy's Day Parade, where they parade down the street with this. So it's definitely got lift, just enough to give it shape and to because it's I guess supposed to be on the ground or near. But yeah, what and where and what's the story here? Because I can't help but think that there's definitely a story. At the I6TG.
Indeed, there must be a story. I'll turn it back over to Neil, KL7HQR. Would you like to share with us all the excitement?
Yeah, right after I get red out of my face, because now mention what Joe just mentioned, the very beginning could be interpreted not as intended. But anyway, everybody should have recognized where it is. Look at the blue skies of Texas. This is a picture, some pictures of some that I've took. It is a Johnson Space Center, on a park near Johnson Space Center. And it is a festival that, unfortunately, I believe 2013 was the last time they run out of funds. There are hot air balloons, and this is one of dozens and dozens of them that once a year they would have this festival. And you can do a Google, is the Ballunar, BALUNAR Liftoff Festival at Johnson Space Center or Houston. And it is incredibly large. Some of them in the shapes of just about everything you can think of. I have other pictures that show it, and it's free flying. It just goes up in way up in the sky. Hot air balloons. I don't know how they pick back up. I don't know how they recover. I don't know how much they cost. But it was an incredible festival. I have a dozen more pictures, and I wish I could send put more up, but. Anyway, if one of the other days I may pick up some of the other balloons and show it. But that's basically what it is. Back to now.
All right, hot air balloon. That is fascinating, and the size of what you're describing is kind of hard to believe that they would have so many there. And so, I guess, are they sort of autonomous, meaning they just launch and go up and come back down by themselves after a period of time, or are they piloted somehow, or do you know?
To the best of my knowledge, I may be wrong, to the best of my knowledge, they're just autonomous, they're just free-flying. And I have a picture that this particular cow is barely a speck in the sky. So I just can't think of somebody spending the time and money and the skill to produce something like that and then risk losing it in the first flight.
Yeah, it's probably all those precious metals they're gathering from Mars that we don't know about yet, bringing it back and selling it here on Earth. That wasn't meant to be political, just for fun. Okay, any other comments or questions about our favorite cow this evening, the hot air balloon from Johnson Space Center? That's pretty cool. Thank you. Well, all right, that was a good one. Yeah, that's a pretty good one there. So let me ask and see if Carol, Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta, is ready to transmit.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and pass. I didn't prepare anything for tonight. Go ahead.
All right, well, thank you, Carol. So then, November 6 Echo Mike Foxtrot, I'll go ahead and transmit one. I'm running low on photographs myself, but I have something to send, and here it comes, PD 120. Well, all right, my N6 EMF net control transmission is complete, and I'll just go to Joel, AI6DG, and ask if you were able to copy.
Pretty good reception. Pretty bad line on the bottom where the repeater ID. And I do seem to have a few more pops some of the other transmissions we've had so far this evening. So I see maybe a cast aluminum box on the top with a cover. I see a pile of hardware underneath that. We've got a toroid, some enameled wire, nuts and bolts, lug nuts, shrink wrap, an SO 239, some wire, a ground label. So it's labeled 1 through 30 megahertz, 100 watt, Balun kit NX0-100, Amazon, $23.97. Let's see here. So I'm assuming we've got the coax coming in and a couple of, I'm looking at the parts to see if we've got a couple of studs. Oh, that's what the nuts are. Okay. So you've got the nuts and then some wing nuts to put wire onto for an antenna on the mast. N6NA AI6DG.
All right, we always do great work, Joel, describing the photos in great detail, so you got quite a bit of it. I'm just going through the list randomly, and thank you for that. And go to the top, N6PGQ, Bob.
Boy, he got all of it. It looks that obviously the kit has not been constructed. The cover looks like it has a gasket on it to seal it from moisture, and it looks like the thing has been pre-drilled for the SO239, and I'm trying to figure out where the other studs are going to be mounted. It's probably on the sides or on the other side of the box. You've got some crimp-type connectors and some washers, exterior lock washers that you're going to put on there. And like you said, there's the ID that kind of was at the bottom fifth of the transmission. Other than that, it's really pretty good. Looks like you're going to have fun winding that big toroid, unless it's a gasket, but it should be a toroid. And that's about all I can say. N6PGQ.
All right, well, nice one, Bob. Thank you. How about Carol, KP4MD?
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. Yes, I got that same picture, and of course the label on the top there gives it away that it's a Balun, I guess, being sold by Amazon. I'm going to guess that that box is actually not metal. It's probably a non-conductive type of plastic, because Baluns generally are not put into metal boxes. The metal interacts with the magnetic core not in a favorable way, and it doesn't. Generally they use plastic boxes or PVC. And looks like maybe what you have in the lower right-hand corner might be some spaghetti tubing, some insulation. Everything else I see pretty much normal. Actually, I went ahead and I Googled it on Amazon, and it's an interesting listing they have here. They call it Magnetic Balance Amateur Radio Antenna DIY Balun Kit. And the output is to the what they call antenna vibrator, and I'm sure that's a literal translation from Chinese. I don't think it's going to make your antenna vibrate, but the circuits that they have posted there looks like this is wired as a voltage Balun, not as a current Balun, and that's I would recommend if you're actually going to do this, try to do it as a current balun because it actually will help to get rid of the common mode currents. The voltage balance don't work very well for that unless you actually need to get a transformation of the impedance. One-to-one current balun would be probably a preferable way to do that. So back to net control. This is KP for MT.
All right, well, thank you for that, Carol. Well, how about Neil? KL7HQR, copy? Okay, we can come back to Neil. He's there. KL7HQR, copy?
Yeah, I was describing doing your perfect answer on my HF microphone. Being last, there is very little for me to add. The only thing you guys left for me is the little plastic tubing on the left side and the black item on the bottom right-hand side, which it may be a weather stripping to put around the box. But everything as everybody described, and I got a very good copy except for the bar on the bottom, a very, very clear copy. Back to that.
All right, well, thank you for that. It's good discussion, and I appreciate the suggestions from Carol. Yeah, it's basically an antenna, a Baling kit that I bought from Amazon last summer, and I never built it, but I thought I would put on display a thing that I have on my bucket list to finish. I've got about 3 kits now that need work, but this is one of them, and those 2 large bolts that you see, those are the antenna wire terminals. So once you get this constructed, they protrude out of the left and right-hand side of the plastic box, just like Carol said, insulating box, and then they come up for antenna wire terminals. And yeah, there's 3 ways you can wire this up: 1-to-1 balun, 1-to-4, and a 1-to-9. And obviously they're all in balance, but it's pretty much hard for me to tell, and I'd have to study these a little bit more accurately, but I'm not sure that these are current baluns looking at looking at the wiring diagrams. But the 1-to-1, it might be a current balun. I don't know if Carol can tell, but it doesn't seem like it. Anyway, enameled wire in the upper left-hand corner with the toroid. I don't know what the 31 star 18 star 7 means, if that's is an indication of the kind of material there. That white bead to the left, lower left-hand corner, that's a weather stripping bead that fits into the cap of the box. So you can see kind of like a trough traced out around the outer perimeter of the box. That's where that goes. And the lower right-hand corner is shrink wrap tubing. You slide the copper wire, which is already laminated or enameled. You slide that into the shrink wrap, and you use that to wrap it around the coil, or the core rather, the toroid, to provide an extra layer of insulation and protection there. And then you shrink wrap it, or you heat shrink it, and that's what happens there. But you can build it one of 3 different configurations, and then it's basically locked in, because the way it's constructed, it's soldered together, and there's really no practical way to reconfigure it. I mean, you can if you really wanted to, but it seemed like a mess. So, not sure what I'm going to do with it, but hearing from Carol, I'm going to have to study the wiring and schematic orientation to find out if this is a voltage or a current balun before I put it together. And I may not need to put it together. I've got such great antenna tuners now. It's just something I might just keep in the box. Hope I answered all the questions and hit all the comments. N6EMF. All right. So let's see. Carol didn't have one. How about Joel, AI6DG? no output yet, AI6DG, N6 EMF.
Still no tone?
I heard tone, yes, sorry.
PD 120.
All right, well, Joel, you did good. N6 EMF net control here. I was able to copy your photo. A few pixel pops that, but I can tell you that I can see you're working on your prism. I think it's your GO, and you've got your clutch pressure plate set up here with the pilot bearing centering tool. I forgot what they call that, pilot shaft tool or whatever is in there to center the clutch disc inside the flywheel and the pressure plate. It looks like you can't tell what that is, but it looks like you're taking a photograph from underneath the car, and I can see the radiator off to the left and the other parts of the engine to the right, and maybe the sky overhead and the radiator fan in the upper left-hand corner maybe. So that's my perspective on your drawing. And definitely, not drawing rather, picture. And it looks good. Looks like you have made some significant progress towards replacing the clutch and getting your car put together again. So thank you for that picture. Caught my attention. Nice work. And turn it over to Bob, another car guy, N6 PGQ. Go right ahead. Did you copy?
Yeah, I don't know the particular brand of the car. I think you named it. We're obviously looking underneath because you can see a brighter area in the upper left-hand corner where the sun's coming through, probably the open hood, radiator on the left side, and it looks like he's got a vice grip down at the bottom holding the parts together as he's centering the clutch inside there, the pressure plate inside there. Looks like an interesting project. I'm glad he's doing it instead of me, N6 PGQ.
Well, all right, Bob. Very good. Succinct and definitely captures it. How about Neil, KL7HQR?
Well, I beg to differ, Scale 70, to differ KO7HQR. Got a good picture, no problem at all, very, very few pops. But obviously, you guys are looking at it from the wrong perspective. This is a prototype for the next alien spacecraft for the upcoming Star Wars movie. And you can absolutely see there in the very center what you call the tool. There is a ring in there. That is where they're going to be capturing the enemy starships. So, anyway, guys, this is absolutely 100% out of my area. I am glad that I was the best. I heard you guys before, because if I had been the first one, this is exactly what I would have told you. So, out of my area. Thanks for the description, guys. Back to Net Control.
This is a very inclusive group. We like perspectives from all angles, and I really appreciated yours. So thanks for that. I was thinking maybe Bob, having listened to many of his health and welfare nets, that he would bring dessert into this. This looks like the top of an exotic cake of some kind, maybe a black licorice covered cake, fondue or something. Anyway, Carol, KP4MD, did you copy?
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. At first I was going to say this is a cross-section through a magnetron tube, but and when I saw the scale of it and what it appeared to look more like one of the large subatomic particle colliders. I know there's this one in Europe. It's called the Large Hadron Collider, where that they accelerate particles up to nearly the speed of light, and they collide them together to get these small particles out of these atoms that prove things about the nature of the universe. That's what I was thinking. I guess I'm in the same category as Neil. So back to you there. This is KP4 Mike Delta.
N6PGQ.
All right, go ahead, Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, I think it could be a stealth product also. It could be a pulsed plasma generator that NASA, this is for Neil, that NASA's going to use to get rid of the Chinese Long March 5B rocket that's going to be re-entering the atmosphere. And so AI6DG has let the cat out of the bag, and they're going to protect the world with his new device.
That's awesome. Any comebacks for that, Neil or Joel? To me, it looks like this thing has a nose ring. Go ahead, Joel, AI6DG.
Hey, maybe that's a new topic or a new way we should do these slow scan nets. We don't describe what we see, but we describe what it could be with using our imagination. And I guess from that perspective, this photo has all kinds of possibilities. Yeah, what is that ring sticking up? But yeah, that's the alignment tool. That's the clutch pressure plate. And I finally got up early enough one weekend, Saturday, to actually get started on this. And obviously getting it apart and off was the easy part. Getting it back together was difficult. And by back together, I mean the tranny mounted back onto it. Putting this much together is what you're looking at. It was easy. Yes, that's a vice grip on the lower left. That wasn't to hold anything together. That was actually to keep the engine from turning. So it was clamped onto the flywheel, and it would wedge against part of the engine block. And so I actually pulled the flywheel off to replace the oil seal behind it, and that was a lot of force to get those nuts off. So yes, I needed the vice grips to keep everything from turning, because this is being as small of an engine as this is, it turns real easily. To the left, what you think is the radiator isn't. The radiator is actually the extreme upper left, you can see the shroud and an edge or a portion of one of the fan blades there. What you're looking at to the right of that, between that and the pressure plate, is actually the air conditioning condenser. So pretty close, but not exact. And yes, I'm underneath, looking up. I had to crank the jack car up, I don't know, not quite a foot to get enough space underneath it for me, and actually also roll the transmission out from under the car. And I tried a couple of times trying to get the tranny back on and had no luck, and I finally just kind of heaved and hauled and lifted it up, and I guess I finally got everything lined up, and it was on far enough to start one bolt and work from there and get all the rest of the bolts in. Fortunately, it's a very small, light tranny, which makes sense. It's a very small, lightweight car, a little 3-cylinder engine and all. And so the worst, hardest part's now done. The clutch is on, the transmissions are put back together. Now I can start looking at the bearings and all the oil seals and so forth, the various seals. Anyway, while I got this much apart, I want to get all the other stuff in there done too. Trying to decide whether to do the bearings at this point or not. Another story. Back to Net, AI6TG.
I think one night Joel and I talked about cars for another half an hour after Slow Scan TV Net, so I appreciate that. Well, congratulations on getting this far and to the next point. And hopefully you get it all buttoned up and back on the road so you can get out there and save gas and drive one of the most economical gasoline cars. Actually, one of the most economical cars on the road. So congratulations.
Joel, what kind of car is it? What model?
It's a 94 Geo Metro, 3-cylinder, 1-liter engine. Gets about, 42 or 3 miles per gallon probably. And actually, I haven't had a chance to test the activation of the clutch yet, because once I got it all put back together, I realized somewhere along the line I'd lost the nut that goes at the end of the clutch cable. So I ordered a little kit off of eBay for $10, and I'm only going to use one part out of it, the nut that goes at the end of the cable. But for $10, it's just not worth the hassle. Back to Net, AI6TG.
Okay, Joel. I don't know. I might give you a run for your money on gas mileage.
Hybrids don't count.
Well, it's not a hybrid.
Motorcycle?
Oh, 1982 Volkswagen Rabbit diesel.
It's not gas.
What do you get?
What was that? Sorry.
What MPG do you get? Yeah, the diesels are pretty good.
Well, if you're running around in town, it gets 42, and if you're real nice to it on the freeway, it gets 52.
Is that real, or is that what? I'm trying to remember. What was the? Okay, Volkswagen. Yeah, their ECM programming was. I'm trying to remember what that scandal was about. I guess the emissions were higher than they were supposed to be because they programmed it to run differently during smog tests.
Dieselgate.
Now that ended Volkswagen's foray into diesel cars, and that was just recently. Now mine's old. Everything's mechanical. The fuel injection pump runs off the timing belt, and You know, everything squirts mechanically. You can pull it to start. You don't need any electricity at all if you have to.
Actually drove a diesel Dasher for a while. That was an interesting experience. That was a decent car. Had to turn the ignition on, wait till the light went off, and then crank it. I don't remember what gas mileage I got with it, though.
Yeah, they were pretty good. The only problem is that you need to be a flatlander. You don't want to drive it up any steep mountains. Now, I do have another Volkswagen Diesel Rabbit that has a Canadian turbocharged engine in it. It's still all mechanical, but it'll keep up with the gas cars, but it only gets about, I'm guessing, 25 to 30 miles a gallon if you're nice to it. N6 PGQ.
What's wrong with going uphill to the mountains?
Everybody runs over you. You are either in second or third going over hills.
Typically don't have a lot of horsepower, right?
Come on, it's got 42 horsepower. That ought to be good enough.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to round up the net here. Would like to invite, just let everybody know that I'm going to want to have an announcement here coming up, but let's see, did everybody get a chance to comment and question on the various photos? Any other comments? And by the way, thanks, Carol, for the note I just got from you, and but want to check and see if there's any other points out there.
Yeah, I was going to also suggest this might be the space laser that started the wildfires.
Is there anything that someone wants to bring to the discussion on the wildfire? I didn't have anything, but Carol, how about you?
Yeah, I was referring to Joel's picture that might be the space laser.
That's awesome. What about those teeth around the outside? Are they like, I don't know, bread grinders? If you had a loaf of bread that just kind of got stale, could you run it through there and make croutons or bread crumbs for your salad? Never mind that. All right, let me just say that I'm going to get involved in a beginner's CW class, which unfortunately runs on Wednesday night, so that's going to knock out my capacity for net control and SSTV participation for probably the next 11 weeks or so, or 10 or 11 weeks. And I'm also going to be absent from my June 9th 2-meter net control, so if needed, I need to work with N6NA folks to help find some people to swap with or to substitute. So just want to put it out there that I just joined the Samuel F. Morse Club and getting ready to take the CW course for 10 weeks on Wednesday night. So wish me luck. Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit in detail, maybe after the net on that. Congratulations. That's a very, very good thing. Too bad it's on mine. When I took it, was on Thursday night, so too bad it is on Wednesday. We'll miss you, but it's a great course, so congratulations. Also, I want to let you know that tonight, for the first time on 10 meters, with your 10 watts, I could hear you Q2 to Q3, but I could hear you for the first time. Back tonight.
Good news. Thanks for that feedback. I want to say it's my KX2, but I also want to say it must be the band conditions improving, because I have a lot more power with my IC7300, and I got 100 watts there, and you couldn't ever hear me. But tonight I heard you for the first time, so About Q1, but it's better than nothing at all. So it must be band conditions in combination with the receiver quality on the KX2. Thank you.
And I also just note that we had a visitors on YouTube.
Very good. Let me give a shout out to the YouTube visitors. Thank you folks for listening and watching the cast this evening. And I just want to make sure I give a chance everybody to say goodnight to each other tonight. Normally I kind of close it out without letting others say goodnight, but this time I'm going to go around and ask each operator, each person that checked in to just say a kind word and wish me luck on my CW training. I'll probably be back here at the end of July if everything goes as planned. So thank you. Go ahead, Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, you will enjoy the class. Mike's a good teacher, and the W6NA FM Club is having an in-person meeting this week on Mike's driveway. So I might see you there, N6PGQ.
That would be the plan. Thank you, Bob. KL7HQR, go ahead, Neil.
Roger, if I remember correctly, that will be tomorrow night, and if my hand operation that I had this morning behaves itself okay, and I can drive tomorrow, I should be there as well. So thanks, and good night. And by the way, I'll let Carol talk about YouTube visitors. Back to Net.
Right. Thank you, Neil. KL7HQR, N6EMF here, Net Control. Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta. Carol, go right ahead. You have anything to add?
No, nothing more else to add here, and I want to thank Craig for tuning in to us, and thanks also, Neil, for putting the shout out to Craig there on our YouTube live feed. And thanks for all of the beautiful pictures, and good luck to you, Wilson, on the Morse code class. He does an awesome job, Mike does. And if you're there at the meeting tomorrow, I'm going to make an effort to be there as well for the meeting of the Samuel F. Morse Amateur Radio Club. So back to Net Control. It's KP4 Mike Delta.
Question?
Go ahead, Neil.
Do you know if that club meeting tomorrow is going to be on YouTube as well, or only person?
My understanding in person, probably not on YouTube, and he said it was going to be on his driveway, and I'm not sure if he has video set up. Do you know, Carol?
Well, he has done it before. He likes to record it and live stream it on YouTube, regardless. So I don't know. Yeah, he likes to live stream it on YouTube. So it's a chance that it may be on YouTube. I don't know if he's going to do the Zoom again, but yes, this is going to be an in-person meeting. Over.
N6PGQ.
Go ahead, Bob.
And last time we met on his driveway, he had his computer set up and streamed the meeting. So he probably will do it again, N6PGQ.
All right, I hope that helps. And, Neil, if you're feeling good enough, why don't you head on over? We'll be looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, so AI6DG, any parting words?
Hey, good luck with the class, learning Morse. I should do that sometime, one way or another, learn Morse. It opened up some a whole nother, as is true with ham radio, all these different sub-hobbies. So much of it, you pick up something new and it's like a whole new hobby. But meanwhile, you'll be missed, so we'll welcome you back. Back to Net AI6TG. Oh, and good night, everyone.
All right, I appreciate that, Joel. So thank you very much. I guess what I'll do now is I'll wrap up the net, and want to thanks to Carol for running the YouTube channel and keeping everybody entertained there, and thanks for everybody else who participated in tonight's SSTV Net. Well, I hope to see you again in the near future, but for the rest of the folks, getting together next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m., and the net is officially closed at 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. This is Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, wishing all of you a good evening. 73.